Okay, so what do we got today? Right now, I'm actually watching the Cavaliers blow this really great start that they had in this game. Boston's up 42-34 right now, and breaks my heart, because I really want to see Cleveland pull this series out. And game one, I think I probably already said this, really did break my heart because they had such a great opportunity to win that game and steal game one in Boston. And then they started off this game so well and looked like maybe they'll steal one of the first two games after all, but they're going to have to do this the hard way, it looks like. Well, still early. Still more than half the game to go, but that was such a great start and wasted now. We got Spurs and Hornets tonight, and I know we got a lot of Spurs fans around here making videos, so that's a big game. And I've never seen the Spurs quite like this before, just in the sense of them. I've seen them lose before. They'll lose games, but it was they almost looked a little lost out there and undisciplined, and that's just not something I ever thought I would see from this era of San Antonio teams. But I think they'll win tonight. I think they'll take both their home games here, and I do also think that this series is going to go to 7 games. We'll see who comes out the better in that one. It's NBA playoffs right now. That's kind of what I'm talking about more than anything. We got a lot of great stuff going on. The Lakers are having their great run. I'm again immensely impressed by what LA is doing, probably more so than any other team except maybe New Orleans. It's never happened before that a team has gone 16-0 in the postseason in basketball. So, we just saw New England come this close to 19-0 in football. Maybe the Lakers are gonna have to just one-up them. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I wouldn't bet on it or anything. They're gonna have to run into somebody good. Lakers or the Lakers are going to have to face either the Spurs or the Hornets next. Both two teams that I respect, but I think they got something really special going on. I love what they're doing with Gasol, reminding me of Shaq back in the Laker Kobe Shaq days. Really like what I see there, and that's about it for basketball, I guess. And I guess I owe the Minnesota Vikings a shout out because somebody asked for that, and I forgot to do it last video. So I think his name is Oakland Randy Moss 18, something like that. He's a Vikings fan. So as for the Vikings, I like their off season. They kind of forego the draft, but I think it was for a good cause. His name is Oakland R Moss 18. Let's see. They got put together that sick defensive line. You got Jared Allen and the Williams brothers. And if somebody like Brian Robinson or Kianchi Udize, even though I guess he's been put on IR this year because of the illness he had, which really sucks for him, because I really thought he was getting close to achieving at least part of his potential. So hope he turns out all right. But if another defensive end on that team can step up, is any offensive line in the league going to be able to contain that? It's going to be as good as what the Giants had this year. They got the linebackers, E.J. Henderson and Chad Greenway. If their young secondary, some of the young members of their secondary, like I think his name is Greg Blue and Cedric Griffin, can step up, that's a really good defense, because the last couple of years their Achilles heel has been guarding against the pass. So with Jared Allen and Cedric Griffin hopefully maturing, and then you already got Darren Sharper and Antoine Winfield, watch out for the Vikings defense. That conference, that division, unless Green Bay proves that they can keep it up, which they may or may not, is really up for grabs. Offensively, I don't know what Oakland R Moss 18 or anybody for that matter sees in Tavares Jackson. I look at him and I see Alakai Smith all over again. I think that's how you pronounce it, whatever. I see a lot of that in him. Just a quarterback who can't, he can't play quarterback. What else are you going to say? I just haven't seen it from him yet. And, I like Adrian Peterson as much as the next guy, though. You got Chester Taylor, great offensive line. So even with Tavares Jackson, who I don't trust, you got to watch out for the Vikings. And they got more weapons now. I like Sidney Rice. I think he's a legit number one player in this league. Bernard Berrien, good deep threat. So I think they got some weapons in Minnesota that should be able to make some plays. I still don't believe in Tavares Jackson, and probably never will. I did at one point last year when he was showing improvement. But then in the Washington game, I saw him completely fall apart, and I just don't know, But, by all means, I think the Vikings are a team on the rise. I think they could start having some success really soon. Wish they had gotten a quarterback in the draft. Like, even if it wasn't Brian Brom or Chad Henne, I would have liked to see them get Andre Woodson, because I like Woodson a lot. So, that's my thought on the Vikings. So, I do hope that they find some success, just because I think a team like that finding great success in the NFL would be something refreshing for the NFL. Obviously, the Vikings have never won a Super Bowl before, have not been there in a while. Their glory days of, they obviously put together a great team in the late 90s, but never got back to the Super Bowl. So, I think seeing them succeed would be a lot of fun for this league, because we don't get a lot of variety, it seems, right now in the NFL. It seems like it's always the Colts and the Pats. Sometimes a team will jump up and surprise you, like the Chargers or something like that. Or the Giants last year, in this case. But I would like to see a team like Minnesota come out of nowhere and make a run. So, that's what I gotta say, my shout out. And, we're in halftime of the Cleveland-Boston game, and I guess Boston's still up by 8. So hopefully Cleveland can figure things out. Excuse me. I'm pulling for them. Yep. And, yeah. Good stuff going on in basketball right now, and that's all I'm going to say right now. So I'm out.